Today's adventure takes us to Leeds, Utah, by way of Silver Reef, Utah, as the two towns have a lot in common, from the desert floor to the high desert woods. Come along with us and join the adventure. Welcome everyone to Weekend Escapades. Today we have found our way to Leeds, Utah. And in Leeds is very close to Silver Reef, Utah, where of course there was a lot of silver mining and mineral mining there as well. So the children's forest at the Kiln back here in the woods is going to be a kiln that we're going to find that they used to use for all that mining material that they found in Silver Reef. But again, this is Leeds, Utah, in the middle of the woods. Before we take a look for that kiln, we're going to stop in here to the Silver Reef Museum and the Wells Fargo Stagecoach Stop, and this is it right here. The original Wells Fargo vault here in Silver Reef inside the museum. Now we've been here before, but we didn't get to see this. We get to walk in the old Wells Fargo vault.
And it goes from, it has this linen closet now because the family bought this building in 1916 and lived here for 35 years, so we built it back to there even longer. So in 1985, the community.
This is the original Wells Fargo safe that existed here in the building as well. And you can see that strong box that was right on top of it. But look how well preserved this original Wells Fargo safe is. Nice to see in this old museum.
I've never seen one of these. This is a zither, Z-I-T-H-E-R, and this was an inexpensive stringed instrument that could be held in a lap or laid flat on a table. So that's excellent. Looks like this was manufactured early 1900s. I've never seen one. That almost looks like a Thor's hammer. It looks like it was a construction hammer. And these are very early 1900s, or maybe even earlier on this one. And you can see some other mining equipment and wedges that they used for the rocks to separate rocks and dig in the mines. This is an old strong box that was used by the Wells Fargo company. Original strong box where people would put their valuables. And an old block right there on the strong box. Doesn't look like it's going to hold much now.
And look at that old plunger used to set off that dynamite to blow up the mountains and make those mines. And they had a tremendous amount of dioramas to show the old mills and mining mills that were in the area. Really good modeling done here. This is a beautiful location to see that. On to Leeds. Now we are looking for the kiln in the children's forest that we talked about. And this location was taken care of very well. The kids in the area take care of this trail at the local school. And it is a beautiful location to walk and see. And this path is going to take us to the kiln that has been in Silver Reef since 1885. And it was built by an Italian stonemason and Sylvan miners. That's according to the legend. The Roman arch-style entryway and the kiln's location west of Italian Wash gives credence to the legend. Let's find this kiln. And as we came around the corner on the trail, you could see that kiln sticking up right through the trees. That's zooming into it right there. And there's the entrance, the archway that gets into that kiln. And you see a little sign right there in front of it. We're going to get a little closer after we walk over this beautiful bridge that goes over the old Italian creek or Italian wash that's here in Leeds by the kiln. Now, we didn't look much up before we got here. We kind of like to be surprised. We find a location and we just head to it. And this is a lot nicer than we thought. But hey, there were a lot of tarantulas. We have never seen tarantulas in the desert except for one time. And this location had plenty. I hope you're not scared of spiders. Now here's that well-preserved kiln. They've really taken care of it. Now we've stopped in a couple of the locations like Old Iron Town. And the kilns weren't as nice as this by any means. Let's take a look inside. And one of the things that I like to see is when you look out of these kilns, the chimney up top. You can see the blue sky right through the top, and I always think that's one of my favorite views from inside the kiln, right here. Okay, just one more look at that fantastic view out of the kiln into the blue sky. And as I walked out, guess what I found? Another tarantula. Spiders everywhere. And there was even one hanging out under some leaves under the bench that was there. Let's take a look around this kiln on the outside. We're going to walk all the way around and look at the inside from the outside with this window that's on the other side. I'm pretty sure that's not a window. That's probably a place for, I guess, oxygen to get in around the bottom. And then through that window, that's where it comes to get so much of that wood hot to work on all that material they had. They had to put plenty of wood in here and keep this thing fired up all day long to work on that material. Now, as I was walking around the back of this kiln, I had to watch it. Not only is there tarantulas around here, but this is a good time of year for rattlesnakes, and it's never a bad time for the cactus that'll get you in the ankle. So you got to be cautious walking around here because there's a lot of things in the desert, especially the high desert, that'll get you. Now, sometimes when you're looking at these old ghost towns and these kilns and things, they've been restored to look great, to show you what they were in the past. And we just have to remember that these were all built. Those pioneer hands were all over this land getting that job done. And we have to take into account this is what's left, and they've taken very good care of this beautiful kiln in the middle of the woods. We hope you enjoyed this adventure to Silver Reef and Leeds, Utah. We're going to head on out of here and get to our next destination. So until our next adventure, goodbye from Weekend Escapades, and we'll see you in the next one. And look at that beautiful view.